Hey guys, it's me from Sony Tech here, back in another video for you guys. Today I'm going over some accessories that you need for your M1 MacBook Pro, or MacBook in general, but more specifically the M1 MacBook Air and Pro, because you only get two USB ports and a headphone jack, and that's all you get for the I/O. So USB-C port to charge it, another one for whatever else that you can use connecting USB-C, and just some audio stuff and other accessories to make your MacBook Pro, MacBook Air experience more fun. So let's get into the video right now. First, I made a video about this. If you haven't checked it out, check it out already. It's the Logitech MX Master 3. You can customize this mouse to do whatever you want it to do. It's got a forward and back button. It's got a horizontal scrolling wheel, gesture buttons, so you have some options to customize these buttons to make them do whatever you want them to do when it comes to app expose, mission control, swiping left and right through the desktop, controlling volumes, etc., etc. You can make it do whatever you want it to do. So, and you can make it app specific. Just download the Logitech Options program. You can do that on Mac OS and Windows, so you can use both. I have Windows and Mac OS, so when you do that, you can transfer files back and forth between Mac OS and Windows OS using copy and paste with the mouse, and it flows. And it flows with the MX Keys as well, which is the next accessory that I'm gonna have you guys. Logitech MX Keys, $100 keyboard, worth the price. To go along with your $100 mouse, that was also worth the price. So buy them every other 2 weeks, I guess, with your paycheck. But these are very nice little black color that gets easily dusty. And you have cat hair gets all over it as well, but I digress. It's got full function keys, a number pad, a nice little circular indentation in the keys, so that way when you're typing, your fingers rest in there very easily. It's a smooth typing experience. It's got decent keystroke travel, and you can connect up to 3 devices like the mouse, and once the mouse is connected to that computer, the keyboard follows, and you can type along on that keyboard. You have a calculator button, camera button, a lock button, and since it's Logitech, you can also customize a couple of the keys up here as well. So very good keyboard. You can use it for Windows and Mac OS, and I highly recommend it. Well, another accessory is the wrist pad for the MX Keys. It's separate. It's $16, and if you really need a place for your wrist to rest, $16 from Logitech. Moving on. Disk NVMe 1 terabyte, 1050 megabyte read. So transferring files on here should be really fast since it's a solid state drive. Reading files on here should be really fast. Editing off of the SSD should be really fast because it is a solid state drive and it's got really fast read and write speeds on it. So you should be pretty good with that. And it heats up a little bit when it's in use, but it's not that bad. So really good external SSD. I utilize this because I went for the 256 gigabyte model MacBook Pro, and that's because you can't upgrade the storage. You can only upgrade you can't upgrade the RAM. So the RAM cannot be upgraded on the MacBook Pro, on the MacBook Air, unfortunately. So with that, I went with 16 gigabytes of RAM and went with the lowest amount of storage because it's what could be afforded at that time. So to negate that, or make up for that, we get the 1 terabyte NVMe Sandisk for about less than $200. I think it's like $150. I'll put the price up in the video, but it's a really good device, really good SSD. And if you want 2 terabytes, $230, I think it's $200+ for the 2 terabyte version of this. And I just highly recommend it, man. It's a good external hard drive, and if you want to save some money and not go with the MacBook Pro's Apple tax and paying $800 more for a terabyte, go with this, man. You'll save a lot of money. The only thing I wish was the wire a little shorter, because it doesn't need to be that long when it's on my desk, so it's all curled up in the corner over there. So Sandisk, 1 terabyte NVMe, highly recommend. Alright, Airpods Pros, recommended for your audio accessories. Apple ecosystem, seamless connection. Open it up, connect to the MacBook, easy peasy. That's it. Nothing more needs to be said about these. I have a whole other video covering the AirPods Pros. The AirPods Pros is another accessory I highly recommend you get for MacBook Pro for audio listening experience. The speakers on the MacBook Pro are phenomenal. They're kind of quiet for my liking. You do have to turn to like 70% to get a good audio experience with it. At least for me, I do. I'm probably hard of hearing. So, but if you want to use headphones in an area where you can't use the speakers, go ahead with these. Can't go wrong. Now if you want over-ear headphones, Sony Wh-1000XM4, noise canceling, ambient control, connects to 2 devices at once, so same with your iPhone and your MacBook, you still get that seamless experience. Listen to audio on the MacBook, it'll go there. You switch to the iPhone, it'll automatically go to the iPhone. Simple as that. I have a whole video on these as well. You should check that video out if you haven't done so already. You can customize the sounds on the phone app and it will carry over on the MacBook, and the settings will stay the same. So Sony Wh-1000XM4 for over-ear headphones, highly recommend. Or if you got the money, get the Airpods Max. I don't have those, don't know what they sound like. There's other videos covering that. If you want to stay in the ecosystem, you want over-ear headphones, get the Airpods Max or the Beats Studio 3. I highly recommend those two if you want to stay in the ecosystem, because those are really good over-ear headphones as well. Don't get the Bose Solo Pros, those are trash. Accessory is the Anker 8-in-1 USB-C hub. You get Ethernet port, HDMI, 2 USB 3.1 Gen 2s, and 2 USB-C ports, one that has a 100-watt charge to connect to charge the MacBook, and one for 10 gigabytes of file transfer speeds. So once you're plugged in with the MacBook Pro or Air, and it's plugged in with the power supply, and it's connected to the monitor, you can use it in clamshell mode. And if it's not connected, you won't be able to use it in clamshell mode, but you can still utilize the MacBook with the screen open and the monitor without, the power supply. So Anker 8-in-1, very good. It gets kind of hot, not too hot to touch, but it gets really hot sometimes. So it depends on your usage, how much stuff you have plugged in there. Other than that, I had no issues with it. There was one time I had the MacBook notify me that I'm using too much power in my USB ports. Don't know what was up with that. It only happened once, so not a big deal. I also have the Anker, I think it's 4-in-1. I'll put it up on the screen. You get HDMI, SD card slot, 2 USB-A 3.1 ports. So I have both of those, so I can connect my speaker, my SSDs, my HDMI port, my power supply, my speakers, my microphone. So I have all those hubs, 2 hubs to connect all that stuff to the MacBook. It seems like it would overpower it, but so far it hasn't really given me that many issues. So I highly recommend those. I'll put them up on the screen for you while I'm probably talking right now, so you guys can check out what they look like and the pricing and all that jazz. And I'll have links down below to all the accessories that I'm talking about. The next one I recommend is this LG 4K monitor that's behind me, the one with Naruto and Sasuke on there. It's a LG 4K monitor. I'll put the picture and the page from Amazon up there on top so you can look at the description yourself. But it's a very good monitor. I don't recommend using the HDR settings because the colors look kind of wonky, and I have my monitor set to Rec 709 for video editing purposes and picture editing purposes, because I want to have the most color accurate display when I'm editing my footage, because if I have it on some other footage like vintage or vivid or cinema, the colors might be a little different. So when I edit, it might come out different on the phone or on TV. So I want to make sure I have the most color accurate display, which is Rec 709 for me. So you can color calibrate your monitor how you see fit once you get it, but the LG 4K monitor on there, I think it's a UL700. It'll be up on the screen for you guys to see. It's a really good monitor. I like it. I went with the gaming monitor behind me for just gaming purposes for my Asus desktop, my former editing computer. So we'll talk about that monitor in another video, but LG 4K UL700, I think that's what it's called. Highly recommend that monitor. It's really good. The colors on that monitor pop. That's all I gotta say. Good 4K resolution, colors pop. It's great. It doesn't have sound on it, so you need to connect it to the sound source. You need to connect it to the computer that's connected to the speakers, or connect something with a headphone jack behind the monitor so you can have some kind of audio output. No audio output from that monitor, just so you know. So anyway, moving on, we have the Humecentric vertical stand for the MacBook. So you plan on docking this MacBook and using clamshell mode. Humecentric vertical stand is very good. You can get it in black and like other different colors. There was another one I was looking at, but it was like $50, and they're both the same thing, just different design. And this one you can get in black, so I got that one in black, and it's nice. It fits the MacBook perfectly fine, and it looks great. It makes my desk clean. It looks a bit more sleek. I did have my MacBook on a laptop stand, which extended it outward, and it just looked sloppy. So I wanted my desk to have a nice clean look, so I got a vertical stand, shoved it in the back. Now everything looks great, so I highly recommend that as well. I have some B-roll for you so you can check out how it looks makes the desk look a little more cleaner. First thing I'm going to recommend that I can't show right now because obviously it's hooked up to my monitor right now is the Rocketfish HDMI 4K cable. My cable is about 6 feet long because I need it for that length for it to go from the MacBook to my monitor over there. So, and it's always nice to have a longer length. When you have a longer length cable, you can extend it to however long you want it to be, so it can have the MacBook at the end of the desk, the cable still reach. The longer the cable, the better off you are when it comes to making sure you can stay connected to your monitor and maintain that good reach. So I have this up on the screen as well. It's the Rocketfish 4K HDMI cable. Very good cable. The cord is very strong. It's good. It's sturdy. I highly recommend it. I can't show it to you because it's connected to my monitor and I don't want to unplug it. It's just an HDMI cable. But if you are looking for an HDMI cable, I highly recommend the Rocketfish one. And DisplayPort wise, it's not on there for the MacBook. So we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, these have been the accessories that I use for my M1 MacBook Pro. And I hope that you found this video helpful. And if you did, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon to stay tuned for more videos from me. And leave a comment below of what you want to see next or any recommendations for the channel, some things that you want to see that you haven't seen yet. So until then, take care, stay in tech, stay safe out there, peace.